He's got 2 Omega Devastators, 1 Zihi spot from Soleil earlier today. But let's go into game number 1. Off to a good start for Nalguidan. As the Dr. Boom Mad Genius, a card that's very important, and the Golden Blastmaster Boom. Well, Dog also has it as well, so this feels like it's going to be a fairly even fight early on. Which means that it does give the advantage to Dog.
But if Nalguidan's able to find some of those bomb cards, which he does have a ton of, job done. Blastmaster Boom on curve is exceptional if he can pile on some pressure. But Dog just has a way to fight back and whip it through the turns.
Yeah, I'm glad these guys aren't going to necessarily waste our time early on, or waste even their own time. When I say our time, I mean like all the people watching, because when it's fairly obvious you can't do anything on turn 2, you can hero power. Definitely worth at least hesitating to think about the shield block here for Nalguidan.
Yeah.
He's not shield blocking towards anything in particular. It's not like he has anything on turn 4 that he really want to play and needs to play. He already has a Dr. Boom Mad Genius. That might be grounds for him to actually just halt the draw immediately.
But Dan, he's forced to be the aggressor in this matchup because of the deckless.
Yeah,
and even though he has his key tools, yeah, it is worth thinking about, but he knows that based on the matchup, he needs to find stuff to play for tempo and be aggressive. And so that's why the shield block comes out. Even though it is inefficient, he's not looking for anything specific. He's just looking for things that he can play proactively.
Well, proactively is his Militia Commander, but it feeds directly into your opponent's Michelin
Star Commander. Here you go.
Sorry, man. Sephorian Bomber, a card that does follow the curve. But Dog has this covered easy peasy. But he's stuck kind of in the same position too. Like if he chooses to go for the Militia Commander, Nalguidan can do it right back to him. But he does get ultimate final say. Especially because he has Dynamatic on curve as well, so he's going to be alright. This does also play into Dynamatic as well.
Defend the gates!
Usually if you're giving your opponent an opportunity to remove, you just want to make sure you can have the final say. So you play Dynamatic here, for example. It's like, okay, well, I have a counter to that, which is another Militia Commander. And then what if they do, Dynamatic right back? You just have to kind of weigh that back and forth. That's often kind of dynamic with control matchups. You're often trying to line up removal correctly.
Yeah.
Which, to many people, at least on the forums, feels like the most exhilarating part of Hearthstone.
You go to the forums?
Oh, yeah.
What now?
Tell Specialist I said hello.
I go to the Battle.net forums, TJ. I check the Google Play and the iOS reviews of Hearthstone.
Whoa.
And let me tell you.
You are dedicated, my good friend.
You think you know people who are stubborn and opinionated about the state of the game? You have no clue, man. You just go check out those review sections, and it is quite the trip. The complaints of balance and design, and that is just, it is quite the time. They still believe to this day that Priest is the best class in the game.
We should,
as always, the best classic set.
I just had a fantastic idea for a Grandmasters segment that we can do in future weeks.
Casters read reviews.
Casters read the iOS reviews.
Oh, man. Some of them are truly legendary, DJ.
I mean, one of these weeks we're gonna get like 16 rogues, and our broadcast is gonna be 3 hours long. We're gonna need to fill those broadcast hours somehow, Dan.
You sure? Rogue mirrors tend to be very short.
That's what I said.
Oh, I thought you said 16 hours long.
We're gonna have 16 rogue decks, so our broadcast is gonna be 3 hours long.
Oh, I thought you said.
So we're gonna need to fill those hours somehow.
Apologies. My brain is frying. You are correct, DJ.
Thank you.
Clockwork Gnome coming down here, so that's 1 bomb.
Oh, he has a Sephorian Bomber as well, so
he has 2 bombs. Correct. You're right. That was a quiz, and you passed.
Dos bombas.
That was an English test, and you failed.
I wonder.
I don't even know how to say bombs in any other language, but I'm sure it's similar. De bombs.
Defend the gates!
Is that your poor attempt at French?
It's my excellent attempt at French. How dare you?
I know how bad you are at French because your wife tells me how bad.
Well, she's French Canadian, so she speaks fluent French. So almost everybody, unless they're actually from France, speaks terrible French to her. So. I'll take that as a compliment, Dan.
Yeah, I don't want to come between a man and his wife, so I'm gonna sidestep that conversation real quick. Elysiana picked up, not that useful for Dog. He sees the pressure. Both players having Dr. Boom Mad Genius and not playing it. Admirable must be over the moon right now. Never seen a man so happy to have a hero card not be played.
I know.
Is it because he's so used to players disagreeing with him that finally when someone did something that he's been preaching, he got really happy?
I think that's exactly right.
He's sleeping, so he's not like he's watching.
I don't think he's sleeping. He is tuned in and fuming.
I mean, come on, let's be real. He's always fuming.
Yeah.
What
That is
now?
truly his secret.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a big That's Admirable fan, hit him up on Twitter. At That's Admiral.
I love that. That's probably one of my favorite inside jokes between our casters that somehow has permeated into the public space.
I even have him saved in my Outlook as Admiral, and saved in my phone as The Admiral.
Defend the
Every
gates.
time I tag Admiral, he messages me without fail some kind of expletive of how he truly feels about me. Oh gosh, we're such mean people at heart. That's great. Nalguidan gonna push damage here to the face. The Boombot's landing for good damage. I like his calculations as well, just like hesitating to see how it would react, optimizing his Boombot damage. Dog looks pretty stressed, but he has the brawl.
He looks stressed, but at the same time, he looks comfortable. Dog is the most comfortable-looking human being I've ever seen. He walks around the world with a blanket and boat shoes. Padded boat shoes, mind you. He's always sitting up in his chair, walking like he owns the place. Just the most comfortable human being. I mean, he poops in the grass, for God's sake, Dan.
There you go. I was waiting for the punchline.
I'm so glad.
Mad Genius comes out. I might give Dog finally some room to breathe. Blast Shield. That's not the aggressive tool that he was looking for. Dog can also answer back. And now we enter Act 2. The first act was just kind of a little bit of a preface of what's to come, but at the end of it, Nalguidan, at the end of the first act, has over 60 life, and Dog just under 30. Oh, Nalguidan with almost no pressure options now. Or actually, I mean, he does, but nothing substantial.
Could Omega Devastator his Town Crier and then attach a Celiax and just let it sit there.
Okay then.
Yeah, that's literally one of his better plays, and I think that might be grounds for him to maybe just play Ziliax and that's it. I mean, if you play Dynamatic, you actually kill your own Town Crier.
Or if
And
you
I
play
am-
Omega Devastator, you're forced to kill your own Town Crier. So both of those things.
All right, chooses to hold onto the Ziliax, wants it for better swing potential. And that is a sigh of relief for Dog, to say the least, because Nalguidan put big waves of pressure for the past few turns, and now it seems like it is at least temporarily subsided. What minions does Dog have in this deck so he can pull the play the Boom Reaver and pull out a copy?
He has Blastmaster Boom. He has the one Dynomatic.
Okay.
One Militia Commander. One Clockwork Goblin.
So it's just, okay-ish minions. Nothing
Town Crier, and Eternium Rover.
nothing worth writing home about. Pass!
Whoa!
All right, it's this kind of...
Well, the onus is not on Dog to be proactive, right? Because as we've talked about, he's the one with the Archivist Elysiana. He's the one with the trump card.
You're right.
And Dog never makes the first move.
I mean, he doesn't have to. He can if he wants to try and maybe even take advantage of Nalguidan's slow hand, but Nalguidan has all reactive cards, so if Dog sees that Nalguidan's not doing anything, he's like, well, he probably has cards that kill my cards.
Oh, yeah! And you want to trade in with the mech here to play around Dinomatic.
Yeah, well, I mean, Omega Devastator here is like this is like one of its better use cases, and then you have Ziliax to attach onto it.
Okay then.
Problem is that your opponent also has the Zap Cannon, so it's not like Omega Devastator has a lot of life to play with. Your opponent can just answer right back.
Answer right back with their own Omega Devastator.
Maybe an alternative is to Weapons Project instead, so you can Omega Devastator, trade in, and then Weapons Project. And then you're just like not doing anything, and once again playing kind of directly into Dog's hand by playing so slow. I do like this play better. I do recognize that Nalguidan's in a pretty bad spot regardless. And he keeps getting the same hero powers. You got Blast Shield into Kaboom, into Blast Shield, into Kaboom.
Yeah, and when you're in his shoes, those are the worst. You want a board and you want to kill Dog.
Right. I mean,
and special delivery, delivery drone and Zap, or even the microbots are much better.
Yeah.
For all of those things.
I mean, Nalguidan did get like a Zap, I think, but it wasn't like he's just not doing enough. I mean, heck's not doing enough. He's not doing anything. This Warpath Acolyte Pain, I think, is something that he'll probably consider doing, or actually the Dynamatic as well. Dynamatic and Acolyte Pain. Nalguidan might not have much of a choice but to draw cards here.
Yeah.
Let the pain speak to me. Light the fuses!
He's already cycled through so much of his deck. He's got one of those cards as bombs. And there it goes.
Nalguidan doing whatever he can to establish some semblance of tempo, but there's not much he can do here. And then Dog can... He's so far behind in the card draw, but he still has so many more resources than his opponent.
Yeah, he's been able to answer everything very efficiently. Like, he took a turn of, like, full damage post Blastmaster Boom.
Okay, then.
But beyond that, he's just been able to pick apart everything that Nalguidan's had going for him.
Right. And I think it goes to show you just, like, how important that Grom Alex Strauss is, because after that Blastmaster Boom, it fell off a cliff, the pressure that Nalguidan was trying to mount. Nothing happened after that. It was actually kind of shocking, if anything. It was just like, wow, he went from like 0 to 60 back down to like -5. He lost ground against Dog. And now everything is just kind of going against him for the rest of this game because he doesn't have actual substance to his deck in terms of putting on real pressure. This 20 to 25 life that Doug is hovering feels like 100. Nalguidan needs to find a Mega Assemblies. Ahmed's Elliot is not it.
No.
It's kind of interesting that Nalguidan's drawn so deep into his deck and still hasn't found... Oh, actually, I apologize. He has no Omega Assemblies.
No, he does have Omega Assemblies, yeah.
Right, no, I apologize. Then I was kind of wondering what he's digging towards.
This
Nothing.
would be a good time for a master
The cards left in his deck.
Oh, wow.
He has a Harrison Jones, a Brawl,
Okay.
a Wrench Caliber. Before this turn, 2 Augmented Elix, a Clockwork Goblin. It's like all of his bomb cards are in the bottom.
Okay, so then what he might be doing then is hoping for a delivery drone out, finding like Elysiana off a Weaponized Pinata or some equivalent of a game changer there.
He's still just not getting it.
Right. He hasn't gotten Delivery Drain once.
Yeah.
He's gotten Blast Shield.
And once you fail, or quote-unquote fail, the early game pressure, which is actually a hard game plan to execute, your outs are Weaponized Pinata into something crazy. Mechathune from Deliverer Jones specifically, since he has no Omega Assemblies in his main deck.
Right.
Like, no Omega Assemblies just makes this matchup even worse for him. The Elysiana already bad. No Omega Assembly worse. It's like he's more all in on the kill him game plan.
Yeah, he was definitely, I think, accounting more for the aggressive matchups like Rogue, because Omega Assembly is really just useful against other warriors. And even then, I'm starting to like question how effective Omega Assembly is for full value versus just having a discover a mech like the way Amnesiac used it, which is fairly clever. Another Elec. Oh my goodness.
I think this, I mean, we're coming close to the tap out range.
Yeah.
Nalguidan.
Like, he could continue to play it out because I think Nalguidan's a competitor.
Yeah, there's still the Mechathune out, albeit a very slim out.
Okay, then.
It's very slim, and he needs as much life as he can get. Does end up working out okay. If Eternium Rover's at 3 life, you will guarantee a clear with Warpaths. But that's one card. You use Warpath to kill one card? Or actually he didn't even kill one. I apologize.
Yeah, and he's just gonna take the Blast Shield instead, leaving that extra 2 attack on board.
Sorry, I miscounted there. But yes, Nalguidan also
Last bomb.
playing his Warpath aggressively. I think he is 100% playing to the Mechathune. I gotta respect that. He's like trying to get every possible out. Like by playing to the Mechathune, he's also like trying to gain life, recognizing that he might need every bit of health possible. Yep. More health means more time to discover Mechathune, more time to play it, more time for it to die.
Two bombs in Nalguidan's deck now. Dog's setting up for the Blastmaster Boom, but
just keeps drawing it.
Diffused. I mean, he doesn't even have that many cards.
Diffused, yes.
Deck.
Yes, quite the diffusal.
Well, his plan of Blastmaster Boom. Oh my God!
That's what the straws.
I can't speak.
Sports. Their opponents defuse the bomb by letting it explode. Flawless victory.
Dog's plan was diffused, Dan.
It's just funny, that's all.
Or should I say, Daniel?
I don't know who you're talking about. Dr. Boom comes down, Omega Devastator has an answer, or there's an answer with Omega Devastator. Nalguidan and Blast Shields have a very tumultuous relationship, to say the least. They're kind of on and off again so often.
It's complicated.
It's quite toxic, if you ask me. I think he should.
This would be a good.
He should lawyer up, delete Facebook, and hit the gym.
Yeah, this Blast Shield not letting Nalguidan get out there and see other mechs.
I think we should magnetize with other people. Dog, he gets the delivery drone. Still no delivery drone for Nalguidan. He's like waiting so long for a delivery that never comes. As a resident in Los Angeles, I do feel that pain. They don't leave a note or anything, DJ.
As a resident of the east of Los Angeles, I don't suffer from that issue. I'm right next to all the Amazon facilities.
Okay. So at this point, I think Nalguidan picks up the weapons project Harrison Jones, but he doesn't have any Like, what is he digging towards, right? And he also gives himself less chances to draw or get the hero power for Mecha'thun. No delivery drone. They're all shacked up in nowhere land, California, aka TJ's backyard. Said that all the Amazon delivery packages or warehouses are in your neighborhood.
Yeah, there's like a string of them about like 10 minutes away.
Why is that a selling point?
Because everything gets delivered in like less than a day.
Wait, they're in the same town.
And because there's a lot of jobs, it's a thriving economy. Come on, Dan.
I'm pretty sure a lot of it's automated, TJ. Very much like this this mechanical warrior we are witnessing.
This would be a good time.
All robots. The robots are taking over. They're taking over our jobs. They're taking over Hearthstone.
Unity, precision,
I don't think a robot will ever take our jobs, Dan. I mean, come on.
I think a lot of people wish robots could take over our jobs.
I'd like to see you find a robot that can track 30 cards in a deck, Dan.
Wow.
I'd like to see you find a robot that can count how many bombs are shuffled in.
Dog holding on to 10 cards. He's not playing the Goblin Bomb, so that way he knows that the 2 Augmented Eliks are in the deck.
And he knows that there's double Augmented Elik and still a Clockwork Goblin and a Wrench Caliber left in the deck from Nalguidan. So
Right, so Nalguidan, his other out, I didn't realize, was massive bomb potential. He was gonna go full on.
But then he has to hope
Bombs
that
away.
Elysiana is like the last card or something. I don't know. Is it time?
Time to what? Time to stop?
Yes.
Oh! Dreams do come true. What are the chances of discovering Mecha'thun? Did anyone ever map out the percentage chance of delivery drone? I feel like that's something we should know, but we don't. Dog picks up the wrench, or does have the delivery drone, so he can also just use that to fill up his hand. Omega Devastator, pass. Nalguidan, a couple more turns to pick up some kind of contingency plan.
Yeah, I mean,
he's also taking damage with Wrench Caliber.
Yeah, I
Boom.
think this is Bomb, Wrench Caliber. Those are not Mecha'thun. I feel like we need a referee in Hearthstone like there is in boxing matches.
Like a technical KO.
Yeah.
Hey, all right, you're not winning this match.
Yeah.
You're not winning this match, bro.
You gotta tap out, but
What do you mean?
I'm stopping this one for you.
What do you mean? I could get delivery drone into weaponized pinata into Elysiana into 2 Mecha'thuns into this. It's like, nah, you're done.
My opponent could trip over his foot and break his toe and punch himself in the face.
And he'd still lose.
And he'd still lose.
This would be a good. Oh, I love that fuse thing.
I mean, Explodinator is thematic to what he wants to do. It's a bomb. It's 2 bombs. Weapons Project to override the Wrench Caliber. Takes 7 damage anyways. It's going to be a painful couple turns here for Nalguidan.
I'm out of cards.
Dog can just literally pass and nothing happens.
Yep.
I don't think it's worth playing. I mean, he could play Elysiana in this spot because then Nalguidan just shuffles decks into the Elysiana deck. But you're still, like, tempting fate, sort of, in that spot.
I mean, there's honestly no reason to play anything this turn, right?
Right, maybe you just want the delivery drone before you play the Elysiana. I don't know. The more I think about it, the more I can maybe justify playing something, but I still think I'm okay passing if I'm Dog.
Yeah, I think if you're gonna play something, you want to. It wouldn't be Elysiana, and you want it to like do a lot on the board, right? You want to put Nalguidan in such an awkward spot that he can't really do anything. Like, you're removing minions, building up a board. I mean, look at his hand.
I mean, if he was able to pull it off, that's a lot of bombs being shuffled in.
Yeah, that's 10 bombs worth of stuff there. If Dog were to just shut his eyes for 3 minutes.
Well, the funny thing is Dog would still survive. Because he has 2 weapons projects.
Yeah, I mean, if he shut his eyes for 3 minutes, then he would die, but that would happen a lot.
Well, there's literally no way for Nalguidan to win. Dog has 10 cards. That is a successful defuse.
Oh, I love that fuse thing.
I think you have to abandon the bomb strategy because your opponent also has delivery drones. You're going to be back in the same spot. I think you just play all your stuff. Hope for the Mech Cthulhu. There's no other good option. Oh, man.
Microbots.
Dog can pass right back. Or even just Weapons Project. Yeah.
Weapons Project and Delivery Drone and back to square one.
Yeah. Pinata. It's like he's taunting Nalguidan because he keeps getting Delivery Drone. Nalguidan's like trying to find every which way to come back in this game, but he's just really not. He's really not. I admire the effort, though. I definitely do. But this is just the same thing over. Like, Dog's just gonna... He can also just replace this once again. But he doesn't have Delivery Drone, I guess. So. Nalguidan trying to catch Dog into fatigue. But the fatigue's not gonna be a factor because he has Elysiana.
Now 2 bombs is the maximum, so Dog feels very safe, and he's just jamming through them. Doesn't even matter what he puts in his deck.
Yeah, middle card draft all the way.
And Dog wins by TKO.
All right, well, game number 2. Nalguidan's gonna switch to his secondary deck, I believe. And then Dog is going to...
opposite. Nalguidan's on his tertiary, and Dog's on his secondary. So the differences in these decks. Nalguidan has taken out Eternium Rover's Warpath Weapons Project in Acolyte of Pain. It has included Omega Assembly, Archivist Elysiana with Baleful Banker, and Cairn Bloodhoof. So much better suited to fight the Warrior Mirror matchup. Now, Dog already had Archivist Elysiana, but in his secondary deck, he's included Baleful Banker for that bounce effect, Youthful Brewmaster for an additional bounce, Augmentadelic, the second Clockwork Goblin, and a Mojo Master Zihi, which we saw put in some work for Zalay earlier on in his series versus Just Saying, and helped him get a win in a game and a win in the series. Love the tech, Dan. Love it.
Yeah, definitely want to see that Cairn Bloodhoof come into play and the Mojo Masters. Nalguidan now actually has late game plan, but you know, is he gonna just fall too far behind the tempo? It's a possibility. Coin into Militia Commander will stop him from doing that. If anything, he has to coin 4 into 4 into 5. Militia Commander right back.
Ooh.
He does have the opportunity to drop Acolyte in this position if he feels like that's okay, but I think Dog has very clearly shown that his deck does not want to draw cards in this matchup. He wants to take it as slow as possible, which is actually good for Nalguidan because Nalguidan then gets an opportunity to develop right back. Like, he gets to skip some of these weaker turns and then gets to try and set up, like, really powerful non-stop wave of threats. Like, if you can find this Cairn, you can have C4 Bomber, Cairn, pair together like these Russian minions. Maybe find, like, that opportunity that Amnesiac had with the Safeguard, like, type situation.
Yeah. Dog free to draw pretty much as many cards as he wants in this matchup. He does have one additional bounce effect.
Oh, he does have an additional bounce.
Yeah, he has Baleful and Youthful Brewmaster. So in the we don't see many games go to that length.
I was looking at the wrong deck list. So yes, he can draw as much as he'd want.
Yes.
Not that he would.
Not that he would, but he has the ability to. And as I was saying, it doesn't often go to the point where double bounce effects are needed, but he does have it. I'm pretty sure we haven't seen a double bounce Elysiana come into play, at least in Americas. In the other regions, I've tried to guess as much as I can, but I would literally be watching nearly 24 hours straight of Hearthstone if I did that.
What now?
Which, Dan, I love Hearthstone, but not 24 hours straight worth.
You gotta up your game.
I know,
Gotta keep it up.
I know.
I feel you on that, though. It's been definitely a long weekend so far, but this is the last of the games that we'll be playing today or this week. We have this match. We have Monsanto versus Purple, and then we have Eddie versus Strifecrow. And then next week they're allowed to submit new decks. This isn't what they're going to be playing every single week.
And
I would quit.
And I imagine there's going to be a significant amount of adjustments to the lineups, you know, given the decks that were brought this week.
Right.
Probably a lot more Mage.
Warrior didn't even play nearly as well as it should have. It
Yeah.
underperformed. A lot of the wins that it got were in the mirror. It did also beat Hunter a lot more than I thought it would.
It did, yeah.
And then it beat some of the Rogues, obviously. But the Rogues also beat the Warriors, and then we also had the Summoner Mage and Cyclo Mage absolutely destroy a lot of those Bomb Warriors. And even some Control Warrior versus Bomb Warrior matchups went the Control Warrior way's favor. Not necessarily the case today with RDU, but Yarlo was able to get over the hump. Dog trying to find a way to maybe fight back and on tempo, and the best way to do that is through time and mechs.
What now?
Having the Dr. Boom Mad Genius. So Weapons Project here is trying to shield slam the 5/5. Looks like it. I think Dog wants to just remove all the threats. Makes sense to me.
Yep. He's not getting rid of a Wrench Caliber with this Weapons Project. And that is his only copy of Weapons Project, because he did cut one in his secondary deck. Still has Harrison Jones, if needed.
All right, well, Clockwork Gnome, the only semblance of some kind of minion that he can play just on the curve and keeping it simple. I don't think this is a position where you want to be playing Omega Assembly for one of. It makes more sense. Again, for people who are like watching the Amnesiac series and think like, oh, is that just the way you should be playing Warrior vs. Warrior? It made sense given the context of what the game was, how the game was progressing. I mean, Amnesiac was like pressuring and trying to find ways to keep the tempo up and the deck lists.
Yeah, Nalguidan's deck list, while a little bit more aggressive than the average Warrior because of the Sephoran Bomber, only runs Karen as kind of the quote-unquote top end for additional resources, where Amnesiac had Grom plus Alexstrasza. And he had those in his hand, so he was able to plan for it. But the problem with Warrior and going for that mid-range aggressive game plan is most of your cards are just useless defensive nonsense.
Agreed. A lot of it does feel like nonsense, to be honest, because they're just cards that react to your opponent's reaction. Nalguidan has the Dynamatic in this spot. Can take a little bit of damage by attacking the Boom first. Good sequencing. And then maybe this gives Dog finally the comfort that he feels to play Dr. Boom. Mad Genius himself?
Yep, you can also get value from whatever hero power he gets on that first roll.
Oh, man.
Well played.
Ooh, Nalguidan. Shaking his head, tossing out the well-played emote. Does he feel like he's already out of it? Because, I mean, he's still very far behind. He doesn't have his own Dr. Boom. Nalguidan posted on social media the other night, too. He said that, you know what, things weren't falling my way, but I also didn't play as well as I could have. And you gotta respect players who can own up to it. Yes, you know, sometimes you get bad beats. It's a card game with variance. It happens. But it's also about how you can capitalize on every possible chance that you have yourself. And if you're not playing well, then I don't think you have room to blame how the way the cards are falling.
Yeah.
That being said, I don't even think this is necessarily a card. The way the cards are panning out here, it just feels like Dog's deck is naturally much better against Nalguidan's than the other warriors that Nalguidan would play. It seems to be a bad matchup, and I don't think Nalguidan has a very good deck list to be prepared for other warriors. Like Archivist and Baleful Banker and a Cairn is like still it's like better against warrior, but if other warriors are going to be bringing anti-warrior tech, that's definitely on the lighter side of things, right? He's adding Omega Assemblies to his deck. That's part of his sideboard. That doesn't give him room to be greedier. His opponents already have Omega Assemblies in, and they're going to go even greedier beyond that.
Yeah. And
so he's starting naturally at a pretty big disadvantage against every warrior because he has to spend time putting in cards that everyone else already has before he can even touch the greedier stuff.
And he has to take out tools that, honestly, can be pretty decent in the matchup. Dog is free to play Wrench Caliber here without swing because Nalguidan has no weapon removal in this deck.
Oh, wow, you're right.
He does have the
Harrison
Jones, but no weapons projects. He only had one in his main deck, and then his second deck or his tertiary deck, which he's playing right now, took out that copy. So it's like, Dog says, I can play Wrench Caliber here, because if he Harrison's, then I go even further ahead in Fatigue, and bombs aren't necessarily a crucial part of my game plan. I've already played Blastmaster Boom, which is the main incentive. I know he has Elysiana. So if he wants to draw 2 additional cards, sure. I have a way to deal with Harrison easily in my hand with 2 Dynamatics. And again, because Dog has, you mentioned like a limited amount of slots to kind of get greedier, Dog with these double bounce effects has inevitability again.
Yeah, with 1 card, Dog already out-greeded Nalguidan.
1 card.
By having an extra Baleful Banker, or a Youthful Brewmaster in this case.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, like, you know, I just added you had 1 bouncer, I added 2. And if not, then Nalguidan had to give up something else. He'd had to give up either his Omega Assembly or he had to give up his Cairn. And both are supposed to help in the warrior matchups.
I wonder.
So, you know, I think Dog feels like he's cruising.
Not for a bruising. He's cruising to bruise.
Yeah.
A bruise cruise.
Yeah. Well, that just sounds fun.
What now?
We should do a Mashes Tours on a cruise, TJ.
We almost did the Winter Championship of the Bahamas a few years ago.
I worked on 2 projects that almost had cruise events, and it was so sad that it didn't get to happen because I think Hearthstone is a game where you actually could play on a cruise because you don't need the strongest Wi-Fi connection possible. Okay, if you play like other games which are like mouse and setup dependent, if the cruise rocks a certain way, like say you're playing like StarCraft, if the cruise tilts a certain way because of the sea waves and messes with the way your keyboard and mouse, that's really impacting the game.
Hearthstone is not effective.
It doesn't matter. You need perfect latency.
What are we doing in a studio?
We need perfect latency to ensure like your connection works, you know, in Overwatch. Otherwise, you're gonna have bullet drop or whatever it's called. I don't know. And then it's like, I don't know the terminology there. But in Hearthstone, it doesn't matter. You just whatever. Reconnect. Wait for them to reconnect. The technology has finally arrived, TJ. Masters Tour, the 3rd event this year, on a cruise.
Say the magic word.
So we announced Vegas and Seoul.
So we announced Americas and we announced Asia. So we're going on a Viking cruise.
I can visualize the Blizzard Esports team saying, "We do not officially release any information about the third Masters tour stop. We are not doing it on the cruise." P.S. Frodan will no longer be participating on the broadcast team.
I'm on that team, Dan. Don't call me out like that. Frodan, you're no longer participating in the Grandmasters broadcast.
Firebat's like, yes! Omnistone next. Me and Firebat are totally cool, by the way, for everyone who's like kind of wondering if anything's happening. We talked it out like real bros. So back into this game. Nalguidan, Hecklebot trying to pull out of the Elysiana or something meaningful, gets Omega Devastator, shuts it down, but with no Dr. Boom Mad Genius, no tempo can be gained through Rush. Shield Slam. That's about it.
What's funny is that if he pulled out Baleful Banker, which is currently not in the hand,
Would have been like relatively even.
Relatively even. Now, Dog's been able to hold on to a lot more resources and has been able to get value from Dr. Boom Mad Genius for much longer.
Yeah, my argument is that Dog's just gonna win on tempo. Like at this point, he doesn't need his Elysiana. He could just hypothetically win by just having everything have rush and then pushing damage every turn.
Yeah.
Ziliax here is fine. I mean, any of his other mechs are fine, like Clockwork Goblin can add his microbots into the mix. Should be able to efficiently remove. I think it lines up pretty nicely if you just make sure to pair the right damage amounts.
Okay then.
So the 3 microbots can go in. He just needs 5 or 6 damage.
I think it's about what he wants to stick this Ziliax to.
I generally like having things stack onto the Eternium Rover because you get more armor. But then if he attaches to the Safeguard, he has something that attacks back. Okay. So this is maximum damage onto one target. Looks like Dog ran out of time and didn't get all the trades in.
Oh, he did.
Oh, no, he missed 1 damage.
Missed 1 damage with the Eternity Member, yeah.
Wow. This guy missing 1 damage. Nah, obviously it's not that big of a deal, I think. In the big picture, when it comes to Warrior vs. Warrior, the health total only really matters when they're both about to die. So yes, it could hypothetically be a difference maker, but most likely not. It just would be nice to get that point of damage.
Nalguidan's only copy of Warpath in the deck. About as good of a Warpath as you could hope for.
Yeah, clears the board. Dog has the delivery drone right on time. Ready to pick up another mech and plop it onto the board. Looks like a Baleful Banker was drawn here for Dog, which means that he should just have the full greed package ready to go. Hecklebot, I mean, he can do it right back to Nalguidan. Ooh, what if he pulls his Baleful Banker? Then he's going to be so far ahead.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, man, it's going to happen, and Nalguidan is going to be so upset. I'm feeling it, TJ. 15 cards in the deck.
He's not going for it.
Okay. I think it's because he's not prepared to deal with a pretty strong minion if it comes out.
Yeah.
If, you know, the Blastmaster Boom got pulled, it's like, well, I can't deal with that 7/7. I'm actually giving my opponent some board tempo. Speaking of which, Nalguidan wants to pull that Blastmaster Boom. Cairn!
Okay.
Wow!
Yeah, that is good.
Wow, we have ourselves a game maybe now.
Unfortunately, the Boomer doesn't have Rush because he hasn't picked up Dr. Boom Mad Genius yet.
Yeah.
But still, a free second Cairn is
yes, another reason
mighty
to not
fine.
Play the Hecklebot is to pull the Cairn. Dog says, you know what? I want another Cairn on the board.
Have both Hecklebots pulled Omega Devastators? I believe they have.
Yes. off the board very slowly and systematically. Wrench Caliber, number 2, not going to be as useful because he already has one in the hand. And, you know, again, not having the mechs and the rush, Nalguidan can definitely feel it because he can easily push through with the Kaboom bot and then press damage. Instead, he has to fight a lot more honestly on the board.
I wonder.
You know, I do kind of wonder also, like, if Nalguidan's in a position where it's like he knows he's not going to win through normal Elysiana stuff, so maybe he just wants to play to get like a 7/7 on board and then just like get the boom Reaver and get like all these big heavy minions that you'll discover just on the off chance that he'll be able to out tempo Dog.
It is the possibility.
I feel like he's just that far behind because Dog is like they're even on the fatigue counts, but not really because the Brewmaster available bait.
Yeah. The problem is Nalguidan hasn't picked up Dr. Boom yet, so I think that might be a more enticing plan if he had that value plan to fall back on.
Oh.
Oh wow.
Did I say that they were even in the fatigue count? What I meant to say was...
Well, there's two bombs in Nalguidan's deck, so they're very close to even. So now he has 10 cards remaining, one of those being a bomb, so he's has drawn 2 cards deeper into his deck. Now only 1 card deeper into his deck.
Yeah, and Nalguidan suffering the same fate as several players today. Mad Genius towards the bottom end of his deck. He's had it in the beginning of the game as well, but it didn't really do much. A Mega Devastator. Dog is big chillin'. Can even utilize the Mega Devastator without the rush effect. Master Boom, but after 3 bombs were pulled from Dog's deck.
The turn after, nearly. It's, I don't think there's any bombs left in Dog's deck.
Well, you can get 2 of them in through the Wrench Caliber.
Yeah, he's got to search for Mad Genius here. Harrison Jones. At this point, it's hard to try and find a way out.
Yeah, I'm trying to find you know, the way for Nalguidan to get out of this game, but I think it does involve him getting very fortunate off Elysiana. The problem is he's losing more and more ground to Dog, who's just kind of building up a bigger board. This is what we're talking about.
Yeah, and because Nalguidan hasn't picked up Dr. Boom yet, he doesn't want to Elysiana to get rid of these bombs because it'll destroy his biggest value generator.
Whew. All the bombs are coming out to play. 3 bombs.
I think there's still 1 more left.
4 bombs.
Ah!
I just want to see more bombs. Dog might just kill him next turn. 4 attack mania survives. That's 10 damage. He has to Harrison to stop it, but he's drawing deeper to fatigue.
Where's Dr. Boom?
He's in the hand.
The other one.
Oh, well, he didn't really specify.
Apologies. Where's Dr. Boom, comma, Mad Genius?
Yeah, well, he's in the bottom 3. You know what it is? When you're losing like this,
Oh, okay.
you know what you know what you're saying to yourself? You hope Dr. Boom's the 30th card. It's gonna be like, oh, Dr. Boom 30th card.
Unlucky.
Because like if it's the 28th card, it doesn't kind of roll off the tongue
Yeah.
nearly as cleanly.
Yeah, bottom 3.
Yeah, when it's like oh, last card in the deck, it just there's an extra sting of that salty remark, which is like so true because we've all been there. Like the card of which is the crux of your entire deck is the 30th card. It's the last card in your deck, and it hurts extra bad. Oh yeah, some salt in the wound with the Mojo Master Z. Yeah, perfectly timed. That is going to be the game here. Nalguidan cannot do anything to stop the pressure. He could play Dynamatic and survive, and he can be a trooper about it, but this is looking lights out 100% now.
Yeah, he's taking 8, 9 from the Kaboom. He's at 2 effective health.
Yeah, you're not winning the game on 2 life.
Yeah, we'll have 0 time to play Elysiana once he gets into that fatigue area, and then he wouldn't be able to bounce it. So just every single thing working against Nalguidan right now.
Yeah, it's like, could you at least not have shown me Dr. Boom Mad Genius so that I wouldn't have the satisfaction of like knowing that I can't play this card because of the Mojo Master Zihi? Yeah, I think Nalguidan trying to search for any which way he can get out of the situation. He Dynamatics. Dog has the ability to push for 9. He plays Dr. Boom Mad Genius. There's still 8 power on the board. So he goes up to 9 life, and his opponent has 8 damage. Dog needs 1 single point of damage to win.
Which is a Zap Hero Power, any type of magnetic. And he's just going to rope it out. Hey, a bomb for good luck.
And that's going to do it. Dog 2-0 in this series for the weekend. He's undefeated, yet to drop